We came to the airport and ate at a local restaurant. I wasn't expecting anything life-altering, not on a travel day, not with my hair half tucked behind my ears and my mask making me feel slightly anonymous. But that's when I saw him, a Filipino guy, decent-looking in that understated, quietly disarming way. Not too handsome, but cute. The kind of cute that sneaks up on you and makes you stare a second longer than you should. When it was almost time to board, I walked toward what looked like the line and asked the nearest person if it really was. Wouldn't you know it, it was him. He shrugged lightly and said he wasn't sure either, because the line wasn't moving. We stood there in silence long enough that I started thinking maybe this would be one of those almost moments, the ones that brush your life but never settle in. But I asked if it was his first time going back to the Philippines. No, he said, and then he asked me. I told him it was my first time, and something shifted, like someone quietly pressed the start button. The ball rolled. He eventually asked, gently, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? 29, I said. He looked surprised. You seem younger. I returned the question and he hesitated, like he was deciding whether to reveal a tiny secret. 34, he finally admitted. He told me he'd been in Saudi since he was 24, 10 years. A long stretch of life. He said he was a software engineer, something involving ATM systems, and for a moment I had to stop myself from smiling too widely. He was unintentionally ticking boxes I didn't even realize were still on my mental checklist. And the best part? It was all so organic. No swipes, no algorithm, no awkward app small talk. Just life doing its thing at an airport of all places. Who knew this is where I'd meet someone who was exactly my type and had a solid, grounded career? What kind of ridiculous, unexpected luck was this? And the way he said, or in that soft, curious tone, it wasn't just cute. It was the kind of reaction a guy gives when he's genuinely interested. The kind that makes your stomach do that stupid little flip because you know he's paying attention. I adjusted my boarding pass between my passport just enough for him to see it. He glanced at mine, then at his. We got redirected to another line and drifted apart for a second, only for the person in front of me to move, and somehow we ended up beside each other again. Coincidence? Accident? Fate being dramatic? No idea, but it happened. I cracked jokes, because that's my default survival skill, and he actually laughed. Real laughs. I heard him say, almost under his breath, that I was witty. We talked about movies and he mentioned that in our flight, if films had intimate scenes, they were edited out. I responded with, what are we? High school? When I moved toward the gate pass person, he followed, like it was natural. As we walked the connector to the airplane, someone asked if I wanted to leave my hand carry. I said okay, and he waited. He waited while I wrestled with tangled straps, even asked if I had anything breakable inside. Then he waited again when I was directed to another lane for my seat. And then, just like that, we separated. My new seatmate was a girl named Dina, and we chatted the whole way, but somewhere behind every conversation was that little thread of thought. I wonder where that guy is now. When the plane landed and we filed out, I caught sight of him. He didn't come to me. He didn't look. I laughed with Dina, tried to act unbothered, but I kept searching for his eyes. I think he knew I was looking, because he avoided looking back. An hour passed waiting for our luggage. A whole hour. And the longer it took, the more it felt like he'd swipe left in real life. Then he got his bags. I caught his eyes, finally. No surprise in his face. He lifted his hand, gave a shy smile, and waved goodbye. I waved back, and when I thought that was it, that he would turn, walk away, disappear into the blur of arrivals, he paused. Looked down at his luggage. Then back at me. He turned around fully, walked toward me again. Hey, he said, quieter this time. I never asked, what's your name? I told him, feeling my heartbeat do something absolutely unnecessary for an airport arrival hall. And then, with a small, hopeful grin, he said, maybe we can keep in touch when we get back. I swear I could have done backflips right there, but I kept it together, just smiled and said, sure. See you then.